update. Okay, and if you need... Do you have online at home? Do you have internet at home? There was. It's almost a year, isn't it? So, yeah, this is a recent... This just came out. I got you covered. Okay. Okay, I don't see nothing from there. Alright, the edit menu. We have find in our edit menu. Go back one more time, guys. Did you have a question? Just so you see, I'm going to pop open find for a second off the writer. And we've got these different buttons here. Question, answer, stroke, mark, and text. And then again, so you can click again from here. Obviously, this is going to search backwards because I've got it checked for backwards. If I click on question, it's going to search back to the first question. If I hit it again, if I hit the button again, it's going to look for the next question backwards. Same with answer. Same as stroke, but if I click stroke, I can write my stroke in there, even though that's a question, and go backwards. And since this is a blank one, it won't find it because I forgot to open one. Our mark is something that you can define using Stylus Sync. There is a section in there for special strokes that will allow you to create a mark stroke, and then you can search by that mark. It's not something we're going to go into today, but just so you know that it's there. And then the last one is for text. And you can actually, oh, you locked us in, probably do some finger spelling with our finger spelling dictionary. You're going to use your finger spelling, your online dictionary, and I'll give you a list of what your online dictionary consists of and the strokes in there. And that will allow you to come sit next to me. We can make a hymn stand. Our online dictionary will allow you to finger spell the text that you're looking for. And if you need to change that, then we can. But everyone has an online dictionary. It's predefined with, I believe, a extended theory. But you'll get a list of all that stuff. This is true. If you guys really wanted to, you could click on the input panel and type with your stylus. Am I clicking on it? I probably really would have to click on it.
We get to the input panel.
I can't get it to go today. Yeah. Now it goes. Someone left. All right, and then it would search through the document for that text. I'm going to go ahead and hide that. And then in that same edit, there's find and then find again. Even though we put the again button there, you could do find again. It'll find the last thing or search for the last thing that you were searching for. And then again from the edit menu is the globals, where you can define and untranslate on the fly using finger spelling. Finger spelling from the online dictionary. And I'm recording this. All right. So, anybody have any questions, onliners? Anybody else? Nope. I'll take that as a no. And I'm pulling out the panel because I've got some people that are not on the phone with this, and they'll have to chat, so I'm just looking for that. All right, on our Stylus tab, which is the next one over, did I go too far? Okay. We have our options. I usually start right off here at the very beginning at General. And we have Enable Morphing, which if you'd like to see the technical answer for what is morphing, using complex algorithms to connect a suffix to a root word while using the spell checker to produce a correctly spelled word out of 2 outlines. Basically what that means is you got a root word and you've got a morph ending, an ending like ed. If I spell the word stop and I've got a morph in there and it's ed, it's going to double the consonant and put the ed. For most dictionaries that get converted over from different CAT softwares, they will automatically get these morphed endings from us. So when you're writing, you should be able to see this working properly. On the next one is phonetic translation. When we use the phonetic translator, it's trying to use a theory. It is using a theory to try and put those words into something that's pleasant for those of us that don't read steno. So it's phonetically spelt. So if you write F-O-N-E and it meant phone, then I don't know what that is in steno, but I would be able to tell it's steno, that it's the word phone. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You're looking at me like you don't. You got it. Okay, good. All right. Drag and drop strokes. This is a kind of a cool feature in here. Some of us tend to drag strokes or drop strokes. What the Stylus sync does is when you're dragging a stroke and you've identified it in the software for the writer and you come up with an untranslate, it goes, okay, did somebody drag something? And if you've identified that in the software, that's going to go, okay, that's possible a drag stroke. If I take that out, is there a matching dictionary entry for this? Is there? It puts in an English form in there, so you don't have to deal with that many more untranslates. So too with the with the drop, if you're dropping something and here comes an untranslate, it goes, now I know this person likes to drop, and this is right around the area where somebody would drop something. Goes to the dictionary and says, if I fill in this drop, do I have something in English that would work? If the answer is yes, it'll put it in there. And it does a pretty good job. So far, so good. Except for when I write. We have another thing in here, a SmartWriter output file, where you can check this off. This is a backup, essentially. If something should happen and your translated text comes out having a problem, this is a nice little backup. It doesn't have audio with it. It's not translated, but almost every single CAT software that's out there, including Winner, will read in a SmartWriter file, and you'll be able to translate against it. So that's one of the backups that are sitting on there. Stacking. Now, stacking is a physical thing that we do, same as dragging and dropping, and everyone knows what it is, so I don't have to probably explain that to anybody. But what we do when we see stacking, and you have to identify again your strokes that your keys that you tend to stack. What we do is, if we find an untranslate and it looks like a stacked stroke, we'll pull that apart. Okay, is this a translate? Is this a translate, or is this a translate? But I'll just leave this one in translate, or vice versa. If it finds something in English, then it'll put it up there for you. So what happens if we do that? Well, we've got less editing, unless it's me writing. All right, sorry, I went too fast there. Automatic conflict resolution. If we write with conflicts, what the automatic conflict resolution does, in text, in context, tries to pick the right one. And we've got lots of good people out there that have said that it's working fairly good for them. It won't be perfect all the time, unless, of course, I'm writing. All right, tran multiple asterisks. This is all still on the general tab. Tran multiple asterisks. If you guys are using double asterisks to denote a new paragraph, then you want to turn this on. The only problem with doing that is if you have more than one deletion and you're using asterisks, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that because it's going to want to put a paragraph in there. All right. Deletion active. I don't know why anybody would have this turned off, but we have it in there, so you can if you want. Again, deletion active means really to delete. Well, you probably would be right because I would need it. So obviously everyone knows what that does. Auto close punctuation. What that does is if I hit the quotes at the beginning of a sentence, right? I get to the end of the sentence and there's nothing there, it's going to match the quotes. So it'll automatically close the quotes for you. All right. Always start a new job. How many people have turned on their writer and got, oh, why is it asking me if I want to append, right? I always wanted to start a new job, right? So if I put a check mark there, every time you come in, it's just going to start a new job. Every time you turn on the writer, it's going to start a new job. That's all there is to it. Right. All right, we're going to go to our display tab, and I'm going to kick out of here just for a second so we can look at that right on the writer. Right in here, we've got lots of little options. If I don't want to look at steno, I can come in here, click uncheck show steno, and mind you, I'm not a writer, so please don't laugh. And all I'll get is steno. See? I got words. There's my morph endings right there. I don't know what it's going to do. Okay. If I decide that I really just want to look at my steno, I can do exactly the opposite. This is how they taught us to write in technical college. I know, I saw that. I have somebody in my room laughing at me. All right. All right, and here's I'm going to put us back to show English. One of the cool things that they added in here for us is paging up and down by English or paging up and down by steno. Apparently we can't do it at the same time. So I'm going to do page up, page down by English. And what you'll see is the steno window doesn't move, but the English does. And here's my page up. So this steno window is moving more than a page than that, trying to keep them synchronized. Now if I do okay, so there's more information in the in the English than there is in the steno, so that's why it's jumping around like that. So now I switched exactly to the opposite, move by steno. And then here comes the English trying to catch up. But that guy didn't want to move. I thought I'd show that. And as you can see here, we can also change our font sizes. I had one there for the older folks. I meant like me. I'm 21 times 2 plus 3.
That's not old.
Who said that?
Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
She says I'm not old. All right. So now we're going to go right back in here. And back in here. All right. Does anybody have a question online?
No, I do. It's Sharon again.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi. I want to try to take advantage of that drag and drop and those nice little features, and I'm not sure how to go ahead and set that up.
That's not part of what we're going to cover today.
Okay.
But certainly, if you'd like, I will direct you to the page in the Stylus manual, and then we can talk about it if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay?
That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. And Sharon was asking about the actual setup for drag and drop. It'll be there. You only get 5 strokes in the stacking.
Mm-hmm.
So you can only identify your worst.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing is the case dictionary. You can upload job dictionaries, as many as you want, to the Stylus, but you can only use one at a time, right? And so you have to identify that particular job dictionary when you want to use it. And sorry. So you just click on the down arrow key and select it. Now there's only 2 in here, but as you import them, you can give them their own names so that you know what they'll have their own name, so because you've already created them, so you put them on the Stylus and you'll be able just to pick the one that you want. All right. Get back out of there. And then the last thing is our number conversion tab. I'm going to go right back to that here. And this one just enables and disables number conversion. The actual implementation of number conversion comes from the Stylus Sync program, and we're going to cover that a little bit more in a little while. Because there's just not enough room on the Stylus to do it, and you'd have to pick and use the input panel. So we did it better off of the Stylus Sync window because it's easier to use it with a mouse. With that little input panel, it'd be better with an abacus than doing that. Okay. So here's our audio tab. Basically, enable, disable, audio recording. Now, here we have is our time that we can identify to say how many seconds we want to continue recording after the last time we hit a key on the writer. The writer, 30 seconds, that's a long time. But if you've got some guy that likes to stop after every breath for 30 seconds, you have that writer going off and on, off and on, and off and on. But, how many times do we actually have that kind of person? But you have to think about that type of people that you're using. All right, we're going to go to the next one real quick here. 30 seconds. Unless you've got somebody that's stop, just come in and change it. All right. Here's our Bluetooth tab. We're going to come back to this in a second, but this is basically where we're going to set up for Bluetooth. Once we've done our setup for Bluetooth, we pretty much don't have to come back here again unless you've reinstalled it, gotten a new Bluetooth device or something like that. So hopefully, yeah, this one's ready to go. So connecting won't be too terribly bad once we've got this set up, because there's also little shortcuts. After we get this window set up and ready to go, then there's shortcuts, a quick connect button, which we'll come to in a minute. And here's our last tab, which is case view. One of the good things about the Stylus is it does allow you to do a real-time broadcast to somebody other than your computer, like an attorney, directly from the writer. As long as they have Bluetooth on their computers, you can search for their computers and connect to them, and they'll get your translated text on their computers. If they've got LiveNote, Denoto, Summation, Bridge, Case View, WinView, Litivision. There's one more and I can't remember what it is. Just three.